What's going on? I am back again. Let me drop this down a little bit. There we go. What is going on, everybody? It's your man, Cleveland Terry. And when we're doing speakers one week, we'll do them another week. And this week, we have a brand new system of speakers from Pioneer DJ. That's right. We have the XPRS 115s. That's their 15-inch sub. The XPRS 118. That's their 18-inch sub. And then we have the XPRS 12 122s or 12.2, however you want to look at it. And then we have a 10-inch, which I believe is a 10.2. Those are located right behind me. I've been doing some initial testing. Full disclosure, I got these things. This is literally the first day besides the 10 that I've actually opened up. Only reason why is because for whatever reason, every party I've been on has been at like nightclubs or the venue already has sound provided. So I haven't been able to take these things anywhere yet. I'm still not going to be able to take these things until I believe February 4th and the 11th. So we will be able to truly test these guys out on an event in a big open area, and then I will come back to you guys with the review. But this is just kind of the initial review, and so far I'm actually pretty impressed, especially with the highs. Now, let's give you some general information about what's going on here. Let me scoot over here. We have the 10 over here to your right, and the 10 has a max SPL of 129 decibels. It is a Class D 2,000 watt peak speaker. So what that really means is it's probably running at somewhere around 1,800, somewhere around there. Moving over to the 12, we have a 131 decibel SPL, max SPL. Again, the same Class D 2,000 peak amplification. And the hertz are a little different. On the 12s, there is a 48 hertz to 20 kilohertz. And then on the 10, there is a 50 hertz and 20 kilohertz. So a little bit of difference. I didn't really hear that much of a difference when I was playing them, but a little bit of a difference nonetheless. They are made out of plywood. They are wood cabinets, painted black, and they do look pretty impressive. I'm a big fan of wood if it's done well. I know a lot of the systems out there, the QSCs, the RCFs, they're all with a ABS plastic. So, you know, to each their own. I've listened to the QSCs, they sound good. I've listened to these sound good. Cut down to the subs, and we have an 18-inch sub in the middle and a 15-inch sub on the right. The 18-inch sub has a 4,000 watt peak. It's an 18-inch ferrite woofer, 40 hertz to 120 hertz with a max SPL of 130 dB. The 15, 45 hertz to 120 hertz. So again, there's a little more range in the 18. It has 129 max SPL, so it's a little louder on the 18 also. And Class D 4,000 watt peak. So same amplifier in both sets, top and bottom. So we're gonna play a couple of songs so you can kind of hear. I think we're gonna start off with, let's start off with the bass, because the bass is easier. And when I started testing the bass, the one thing that I couldn't get my head around was just the sound comparatively to the other ones. So I went ahead and brought up the SRX 118. I think it's the lower wattage of all the SRXs out there. As I said before, it's a good sounding speaker, not the best sounding JBL SRX. That's reserved for the 828 or the 900. But these are still very, very good. So let's test them out and see what it sounds like. First one, the 18. We're going to test out the 12 now, and These are both set to about 1 o'clock, maybe almost 2 o'clock. I noticed that when I was running them at 12 o'clock, there wasn't a lot of bass coming out of them. So I pumped them both up to around 2 o'clock. And I definitely got more impact out of the cabinet. Sorry. This is the 15. A little more vibration comes out of the 15. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 18, and I'm going to then compare it to the SRX 18. So I want you to hear the 18 one more time, and then we're going to put the SRX on. Still the Pioneer one. So what I will say is this. The 18 sounds good. It's got a good quality bass. The only issue that I'm running into is that it doesn't put out as much audio as the SRX. Now I can turn up the sub to full blast until it starts to hit that red peak, but there's just a lot more overhead on the 118. As to be expected, it's a more expensive sub, so I think probably a better comparison would have been the PRX, I think, but I don't have a PRX. I've already done the comparison between the 118 and the SRX, and I think the 118 competes very well with the SRX. I don't think their 18 would be as good as the QSC 118, but still a good sounding, well-balanced sound. Just doesn't have that max audio that I look towards. Let's test out the highs, because I was really impressed by the highs. So let's check out the highs. Two things that I forgot to mention a little bit earlier. As you can see on these boxes, there are no wheels. I can't find any type of pre-drilled holes for casters, so you're gonna have to carry these. The good news is the 15s are super light, and the 18s, if you ever used the Eon 500 series, that's what they feel like. The JBL Eon 500 series. They're really light, really balanced. They have the nice handles on top, which makes it easy to grab and carry, but I don't see any wheels on there. I don't see the option to put wheels on. Might be an issue for some people. Not for me, because, you know, strong like bull. Now, the one thing that I did have to do was, when I first had the highs and the lows together, the highs were putting out so much audio that I had to turn down the audio on the highs because it just made everything out of balance. So I have it right now set to about 9 o'clock. So we'll take a listen. I'm going to play something without vocals, but it is what it is. Now, what's good about it is, first off, the EQ section. So there's a number of presets, and a lot of companies out there will only give you presets, but they have really well-defined presets. When it first comes to you, it comes to you in the live version, which is fine. But when you flip it to music, I found that's when like it brought down a little more of like the mids and the highs, more emphasis on the low end. It's just a more fuller sound, and that's great. Also, if you don't want to go through that, you could also go in and literally break down the highs, the mids, and the lows to your own specifications. There's a lot of power coming out of these. They sound really good for the size. I don't have all the prices yet. I had a little issue with my media kit, so I don't have the prices. Okay, real quick, I'm in the middle of editing my video, and I did get the prices finally. So I just kind of want to break it down for you right now. So the XPRS2 102, those are the 10s, are $799. The 12s, $899. The subs, the 115s, the 15-inch subs, $1,099, and the 118s, $1,299. So these are some really, really aggressively cheap prices. I'm very impressed by that. I almost want to say it changes my feel for the actual speakers, because at this price point, they sound really good. It kind of reminds me of when I compared the DRM Mackeys. Like at the price point they're coming in at, there are few and far speakers that are around that same price. The highs specifically are amazing, and it's $799 for that 10, which I think is really, really good. That's an amazing price. All right. Again, we're going to leave it at around 9 o'clock just for parity. So, this is what I've noticed. I actually prefer the sound coming out of the 10 over the 12. The 12 sounds fine, but there's a lot more energy coming out of the 10. Now, they're both set to the same preset. They're both set to the music preset. They're both sitting at 9 o'clock, and I like the sound coming out of the 10. Now, one thing that I will mention, these aren't burned in yet. That 10 I used at my event over the weekend. So that could be why the 10 sounds so lively, because it was seriously burned in. So I'm gonna, as I said before, I'm going to continue to test them. I'm gonna bring them out, put them out in a live environment next week, and then we'll use the 18s also. 15s first, 18s second. But I'm actually very impressed by the sound that's coming out of the 10-15 combo. That's a pretty good sounding combo. Now, of course, the 12 and the 18 are technically louder. The sub is louder. There's a different frequency response on the Pioneer subs that I haven't really heard on other subs. There's a focus on like the mid bass, not the low bass, and that's okay. That's a little bit how QSC kind of balances out their stuff, with the focus is on the mid, not necessarily the low. You do get low, but that bass line is really, the emphasis is on the mid. something like the JBL is definitely punchier and definitely has a louder output. The bass has deeper bass versus the Pioneer. But Pioneer's a really good sound. Now, of course, I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna test it, we're gonna burn it in and see how it does after that fact. Also, because they do need to burn in and we're gonna test them out a little bit later live, put in the comments if you have any questions. Hopefully I can answer them by the time this does come out. But this is just initial review, first look. So as far as the highs are concerned, as you can see here, we do have a very nice looking wood texture. It's a plywood board here. They have handles on the top and then a handle on the side right here. And the same thing with this one. And this one is a little different. It has the handle on the side only, nothing on the top, nothing on the sides. As far as the back is concerned, it does resemble QSC, where you have kind of this section area that you can kind of get to and make modifications to, just like them. So you go in there, you can affect your inputs on all of your factory settings, live music, speech, monitor. And of course, as you can see here, they are shaped with this kind of slightly trapezoidal system here, which means you can use these as monitors. And I use it as a monitor on my party. This is very, very good. Same thing with the 10, except one difference is there is a handle on the side for the 10. There is a handle on the side here, and there is a handle above on the 12. Does not exist on the 10. They are both decently weighty because of the wood casing, but they feel good. Of course, they resemble QSC, but QSC makes great speakers. They got great systems and boxes. So if you're gonna model yourself after somebody, why not model it after some of the greats? I am not done with this review. This is just my initial test. I'm gonna take these guys out. I really gotta put them through the paces. I really gotta push them hard. Then I can tell you exactly how I feel about them. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out today. If you found what I said are useful, maybe hit that like button. If you found what I said are really useful, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on the Instagrams and the Twitters. Get on my Discord, because that's where we're talking about all things Cleveland Terry. Guys, girls, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.